I just wanted to kind of talk about what you're doing, really. I mean, obviously, you've spoken a lot about what you've been doing on Twitter and that sort of thing. It's all quite mysterious, so we just kind of wanted to get into that, really. So yeah.
I'm trying to keep my social media up, but I've been quite busy. It's been a very busy year for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, no, it sounds really exciting. So yeah, you've been teasing a lot about a new band, new music on social media. You're calling it something fresh. What can you reveal to us about the project at this point?
Well, honestly, that's pretty much all that I do these days. That's first and foremost. Things are going to be very exciting. It's lots of good music. I surrounded myself with very talented people, so I cannot wait, man.
In terms of style, does it reflect kind of things you've done in the past? Is it still kind of in the heavy realm, or is this something very different entirely?
It's different, but it's not going to be as heavy as it used to be. I can't even mark it with some certain tag, honestly. People just need to hear this new stuff.
Wow, so you've branched into a lot of new things then. I mean, do you think genre's even really that important a thing anymore, especially in this day and age when people listen to so much different music? Do you think it's really even needed?
I guess to some people it is, but not to me. I don't really care. I just want to play music that I really love, We grow, we evolve as musicians, as artists, as songwriters, so we just always want to do something new, something fresh.
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause, I mean, based on like your previous bands and that sort of thing, how have these experiences been? Has this been a much more positive kind of songwriting process, or like take us inside that a bit? How's it been?
Every album that I've actually worked on has been an incredible story, honestly. This one, I'd say I had the most amount of freedom, if that's the right way to put it out, while I was working on it. So, yeah, you guys will see. You guys will see how it all turns out.
Awesome, yeah, because you also mentioned that you've had a lot of songs that you put down between 2012 and 2017 that you haven't been able to release and that sort of thing. I mean,
there's been at least an album that I did not release, that I couldn't release.
Oh man, so you literally physically weren't allowed to release that?
Yeah, pretty much. Asking didn't really want us to put out any other music other than The Black. So, I mean, I was definitely down with that back in the day.
Oh man, that's a shame. I mean, did any of those make the cut, or is that stuff that's very much just going to be kept to yourself?
I don't think it's relevant anymore. It's like heavier metalcore. It used to be, but I'm writing a whole different kind of set of music these days.
Definitely, yeah, and it's very exciting. I mean, as I say, you mentioned Asking. I mean, like, looking back on that, you said, it's very sort of every album you've made has been an incredible experience. I mean, looking back on The Black, are you still very proud of that album?
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. It's been nothing but good times. I've learned a lot while I was in Asking Alexandria. There's no bad blood between us. I had to leave the band for a very, very private reason, but it was nothing but great time. The Black is the tits.
That's awesome. That's really awesome to hear. And to say, sorry to hear about problems you had. And I mean, in terms of looking back on that, then it was a very positive experience. Then did you learn a lot from that period?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I've gained such a massive fan base too. So it's win-win,
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, as well, look about your previous bands, like Make Me Famous and Down and Dirty and stuff like that, I mean, how do you feel looking back on those now as well? I mean, is all that again? Is it all kind of, you're very proud of everything that you've done with those bands too?
I'm proud of it, but it all sounds funny to me these days, honestly. It's like, get ready for real shit.
Yeah. In what sense is it? Do you feel that this is much kind of what the stuff you've been working on now is much kind of fresher and it's just a bit more true to you as an artist?
Absolutely. I mean, I was like 18, 19 when I was working on those bands like Make Me Famous and Down and Dirty. So, yeah. I'm 25 right now, and I'm definitely open to a whole different new perspectives in music.
With the whole end of the Asking era as well, I mean, was it just kind of that you needed to do what was right for you, essentially, and kind of, like you said, there's no bad blood or anything like that? Was it all very much about just doing what was right for you as a person?
Well, honestly, I don't even know where to begin with on this one. It's been a year. It's been a very tough decision for me, but I had to leave the band because as you've heard before, I'm a Ukrainian guy. I'm originally from Ukraine, and there was too much shit happening pretty much back home where I'm originally from. It's a legit war zone right now. So that was an incredible stress for me and my family. I just had to stop touring for a second, and I had to focus on my family and all the things that were happening back there.
I'm very sorry to hear that, man. I mean, that sounds really, really difficult. I mean, was that particularly hard then, having to do things like Warped Tour and kind of, get used to a band that were pre-existing?
Touring was fantastic, man. I honestly, it felt like home. Asking Alexandria felt fantastic for me, but unfortunately, the guys were not ready to wait for me and the things that I had to fucking deal with.
I mean, like in terms of kind of looking back, then, are you? I say not pleased, but I mean, are you in a much better place now? Was it very much the right decision, and you kind of feel that, like you say, it is positive looking back on all of it?
Every decision that we make, man, they lead us to the things that are actually naturally ours and essentially ours, So I'm very excited to see where this new band and this new record is going to bring me in life and in the music industry.
For sure, yeah. Did the things that you learned on the Black, and that you did creatively, because there was a lot going on that record. Like, have those kind of influenced the kind of the things that you're doing with the new stuff, in that the creative risks and that sort of thing? Has that very much had an impact on how you've written the songs?
Not really, honestly. I'm always writing about the things that I feel at some certain time in my life. So this whole record was more about, I don't even know, just lots of personal things, lots of personal thoughts, rather than songs that I would be writing about Asking Alexandria or stuff like that. I didn't at all. Asking Alexandria was nothing but great times in my life.
Awesome. So those guys were just really cool, and like you had they really welcomed you in. It just kind of, that's just the way things happened, I guess.
Yeah. All the things that we've achieved in such a short time with Asking Alexandria, man, it fucking felt like I graduated Harvard. So it's great time.
No, I bet. That sounds amazing. I mean, was it tough on you? Was that period tough on you, like vocally as well? Because obviously, you were having to record an album and also go straight into heavy touring and that sort of thing. Like, was that quite overwhelming in that sense, or again, was it just a really good time?
Just a tiny bit, but it was just another thing to deal with daily, Definitely not a bad struggle.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, going into 2018 then with, these new songs and that sort of thing, are we going to be hearing a lot from you? Like, is this going to be a kind of early 2018 reveal, or kind of what can we expect?
Honestly, I've been ready to release new music for quite a while now. I think we finished up the writing this past August, and we've been ready to hit the studio. We're just figuring everything out with Sumerian Records. We're going to re-sign with them. So yeah, we're definitely aiming for a release quite soon enough at least.
Amazing, yeah, because as well, you said, it's kind of with that wait to release this stuff. I mean, has that been quite frustrating? Have you just really wanted to get this stuff out there as soon as you possibly can?
Dude, I cannot even express how fucking annoying that is. You just sit here, wait, But I know one thing, once it's all launched, we're going to be releasing lots of music videos. We're thinking about releasing a little mixtape after we release a record, because there's just too much music, and we just want it all out.
Very cool. So it's very exciting. I mean, in terms of, I mentioned that I saw that you'd use the word mixtape actually on Twitter as well. I mean, like, does that kind of hint at, like you say, we've been talking about different genres and that sort of thing. Does that kind of hint at maybe a foray into sort of, a more hip hop sort of world, or is this? I mean, maybe you can't reveal too much, but kind of what might that entail?
Honestly, we just want to show a little different part to what we already have in store for people. This record is one certain sound. This mixtape is gonna have a little bit different sound. I don't know. I cannot even really speak up on this one just yet, because it's all in works. It's all an idea right now, but we're definitely doing it.
Awesome, that's very cool. And you're very excited to get back on the road as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm thinking we're going to be on the road entire 2018.
Wow, yeah, because I mean, it sounds like you say. I mean, you sounds like you're so positive about your experiences on the road and that sort of thing. I mean, has it been quite hard to be away from that? Not be able to, like you say, you've been waiting to get the songs out to people. Has it been quite hard not being on the road? It sounds like you're so at home when you're on it.
Yeah, man, I enjoy my time in the studio and back home, but being on the road, being on tour is the best thing in the world, at least to me. I feel like I belong to that certain thing in this world.
Definitely, yeah. Because as well, I mean, I guess as well, looking back, say on, you've done a lot of these things in the heavier realm and that sort of thing. How did you find those scenes to work in, and be a guitarist and then a frontman in? Did you enjoy being in the kind of the heavier side of things and that kind of Warped scene? Or you said you loved Warped Tour, and like, how was that? Or is it something that you'd still like to keep a foot in, or kind of how did you find those experiences?
Speaking of Warped Tour, it's such a bummer that they're gonna do the last tour this year.
Oh man, I know.
Honestly, no matter what is in store for us, I would love to do that tour. I would love to do it again. It was nothing but great times, man. You just get to meet so many cool people all around the world if you want to.
I guess as well then, sort of going into 2018 then, I mean, it's kind of what can we kind of, where can we expect it? Will it just be kind of, will you maybe even be coming, over to the UK or to the States and that sort of thing? Is that kind of, do you want to go as far and wide as possible?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All across the world. That's the plan.